Well, thanks for joining us again. This is Newspaper Review, and like promised, we have Dele Fanimo joining the conversation. Good morning to you once again.
Good morning once again, Moses.
And also, virtually, we will be going to our Benin station where Comrade Destiny Enabulele is standing by. He's former executive chairman of your Southwest Local Government Council. Well, he'll be standing by to share his thoughts as we get into the conversation. Comrade, well, feel free to chime in at any point in time. It's an open conversation, so just go right ahead and give your thoughts as we share headlines from the papers. Well, we do have the Punch newspaper, the Vanguard, aside the masthead. We have Jakpa Agberu, Eba, 17 other Nigerian words added to Oxford Dictionary. Isn't it interesting?
Is that the
Yes. I'll take that one again for emphasis. Jakpa Agberu, Eba, 17 other Nigerian. We have, contributed our quota to informing the rest of the world. Oh well, the banner headline here: FG 9 billion naira e-border project fails to stop bandits, illegal aliens, Taraba. Others, e-border project bid to stop $4.5 billion, 2.8 billion naira fraud trial. Ganduje tackles Obi as APC spokesman, receives 200 death threats. Court orders forfeiture of 228 million naira linked to ex-governor Oji. And then we have Air Chief celebrates NAF engineers for reviving moribund aircraft. Interesting one. Tension rises as gunmen kill 18 in Imo today on X.com. EFCC detains 10 officers for stealing cash, gold exhibits. There you go. There you go. Backbiters behind my kangaroo impeachment. Makinday's ex-deputy. All right, let's move over very quickly to Vanguard newspaper. I do hope you're taking down the headlines to react to, but we'll touch on them bit by bit again as we proceed on the program. From the Vanguard, states race to build airports as hunger bites harder. The riders to that story: As hunger ravages the land, governors compete to build airports, spend 181 billion naira. Airports built by states not viable. Experts, ex-fan MDs. Note, revenue generated can't maintain airports, which puts more burden on FAN. Ask FG to stop granting licenses to governors on airport development. All right. And then we have some of the headlines here. Businessman asks court to reverse sale his 43 million shares to telecom firm. FG won't approve 100% tariff increase for telcos. Minister Bosun Tijani speaks on that one. Wike Fubara, others should work with Atta-led committee. Pandef: I grew from Almajiri School to become CEO of NNPCL. Mili Kyari. Okugbe apologizes to Kyari over past comments on NNPCL. All right. Obi: I have received over 200 death threats. APC spokesman Morka: we won't dignify Morka's claim with response, obedience. Influx of bandits will be checkmated. Police Amotekun commanders, OPC. Alleged $2.1 billion fraud. Court strikes out abuse of office charge against Emefiele. Coach. Well, these are the headlines that we have at the moment. We'll touch on a few more in the course of the program. But let's start off with Comrade Destiny from our Benin station. Comrade Destiny Enabulele. Now, you've listened to the headlines. Which one would you say is of interest to you? Let's give you the floor. Tell us which one is of interest to you, and go ahead and react.
Yes, I must give it very, to the Nigeria people. If you looked at our contribution to the dictionary, the Japa, the Agbero. We are enriching the English lexicon, which is commendable, and we must salute the Fig Talks far. We must salute the Nigerian people. At least we have something, especially for us, from the Niger Delta. Thank God that the English people begin to align with our, pidgin English. So that is a right step, if you ask me, in the right direction. And we equally looked at the issue of, I think it was Kugbe that is apologizing to the NNPC or something like that. When some of the audit is indicting the NPCL. This is the time you are now. That's just to show that it's all about self and not the Nigerian people or the Nigerian state, which is very unfortunate. At this point in time, when NNPCL has alleged of diverting over 500 billion, if I'm not mistaken, it's now some persons you want to apologize as a result of your comment. I don't want to. It's very unfortunate. And again, I must give it to the NAF for reviving the moribund aircraft, the moribund aircraft engine. I think we need to do more. I think what the president has done now by getting the aero institution, taking it to the 60 political zone. If you ask me,
right then, let's take it one after the other now, shall we? First off, gentlemen in the studio, Nigeria is adding to the lexicon of the world. EBA. And we understand fully that Nigerian meals are trending quite a lot on social media. You see diaspora folks wanting to try out our meals. Some of them don't even know how to. They don't know if they are to chew or to swallow. So they get confused. But isn't that something? Shouldn't we now focus on sort of exporting our cuisine to a larger world community?
Yes, Moses, I think you are right, because that is a niche that we should explore. Like the Chinese explored when they came here, Chinese restaurant, and it became a fad.
Exactly.
It became a fad. I mean, if you want to show class,
you eat
Chinese restaurant and all of that. And I recall when growing up as a young man, if you want to impress someone, the opposite, and you say, let's do Chinese restaurant.
That is for taste.
Yeah, so exactly that. It's a good thing. You see, the way to drive an economy, it's not only through technology. There's a lot more that we can do. And you discover that Nigerians, have their footprints across the globe. Footprints in all parts of the world. I'm not sure there is any part in the few places I've gone to, I go into the hinterland and I see Nigerians doing very well in whatever they are doing. So I like the point that you have raised here. I mean, we should explore it and export it. If we cannot export ICT, if we cannot export software development, let us export this one that if you go abroad, and unfortunately or fortunately, so to say, either way, African restaurants are very expensive.
Yes, because abroad.
They are very expensive because of the cost of the logistics of moving these items. But if we develop that niche, I'm sure the cost can reduce. When we, take advantage of the economies of scale, you do more and harness all those advantages and all of that. It will be something very good, so that when you go to India, you walk into an African restaurant, eat a bar, if you have jabad,
if you've jabad,
you can now that's the past tense.
And don't become an Agbero over there.
Exactly the point. So
there was
the
video
angle you brought in.
There was a video that trended late last week or early this week, where a guy was probably acting Agbero in UK. I think about 2 weeks ago. You know, he was going to the bus station to collect, to issue tickets and collect money and all that. You know, the way we do it in Lagos, especially. So you see, this thing is just a pointer to the fact that we need to develop our tourism sector. If we develop our tourism sector, now a fraction of tourism is blowing the mind of the world, which is music and entertainment. Now, food should be the next step. Do you know that any country I'd ever visited outside Nigeria, I only suffer eating food that are not indigenous? The second day, I would have found out where they sell the best of Nigerian food. I remember that the first time I went to South Africa, it took me less than 24 hours to discover that I could travel all the way from Joburg to Pretoria to get good food made by a Nigerian. And a Southeasterner, I could eat the yellow eba and all that. So if we have that thing that is unique to us, if other countries are doing it. There was a time Kenke was popular in Nigeria when the Ghanaians were around. Until today, Dokuno, Keke and all that, Nigerians know where they get this food. And they will still go there to buy. I know a particular guy, he was my boss in The Guardian. I mean, I thought that I did. This guy, he had contact with this food, this Ghanaian food. And do you know that he hardly eats Nigerian food? And he was from Ogbomoso. He would rather go to where they sell this kenke. I didn't know how he discovered where they sell it in Ibadan. But he would rather do it morning, afternoon, night. So we should begin to promote our own. And the only way we can do it is for government to also look at it. And then individuals should also not shy away from promoting it. Because you imagine if I have a friend in Germany, for instance, and I know that there's a Nigerian restroom. If you take that German to that restaurant and he eats, I'm telling you, by the time you take that person 2 or 3 times to that restaurant, he becomes addicted to that food. And he will now be your chief marketing officer of promoting that food.
Indeed.
And then
Indeed.
why not federal government or even states? A state governor can decide to say he wants to showcase our food, our culture in a certain country, you know, and he goes there, sponsor it, bring in people, give lectures and all that. And there will be some sort of attachment to it long after he would have left that conference venue, you know. And through that, we can popularize, and then people will now begin to look forward to going to Nigerian restaurant, any part of the world.
Okay.
And there is no part of the world that you won't find the Nigerian.
The Nigerian there, of course, and it will be great business.
Great business.
For Nigerians. Now let's take a minute and look at the words that have been added. There are 20 of them added to Oxford Dictionary. Chukwuma, please come along with me as we take a look at these words. 419. That's the reaction I expected. 419 has been added. Abi,
Yes.
which has been defined as a tag question used to seek confirmation, equivalent
validation.
to, yes, equivalent to right or isn't it. So I think it's okay if I'm speaking English and I can say Abi.
Abi?
Abi.
Shebi there.
Shebi? No, Shebi is not here, but Abi is here.
And okay, Abi and Shebi almost mean the same thing.
Almost been the same.
It's the same thing.
So Abi has been added. Adire has been added. You know Adire. Agbero.
Batik.
Yes.
Agbero.
Agbero has
Agbero
been
is there
added.
now.
Okay.
It's part
has
of the
been added.
airline.
Okay.
Area boy has been added. Cross carpet has been added. Okay. Defined as to change allegiance from one political party to another. Eba, which we've talked about here. Gele has been added. Jand has been added.
Jan, what is Jan?
Jan is, it's the way you refer to the UK.
Okay.
when you say, I dey go jand, or I don't jand.
Okay, like say Yankee. You see,
Like
I'm going
Yankee.
to US.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, okay.
Exactly. So, jand, colloquial term for the United Kingdom, can be used as a noun or a verb.
Okay.
So, I want jand. All right. Then. And then Jakba, of course, we know what that is. Kobo. You know, Kobo has been added. Niger has been added, which is an informal name for Nigeria, reflecting national pride and identity. And my favorite, Suya, has been added to Oxford Dictionary. Yahoo has been added. And right underneath Yahoo, you have Yahoo Boy has been added. Definitions given. Yahoo, internet fraud, often involving deceptive schemes to defraud unsuspecting individuals. Yahoo Boy is now a person who commits fraud on the internet. And then, lastly, we have Yan Dust. I think that would take us to Benin people. You the Yan Dust, okay. which means to talk nonsense or engage in frivolous conversation.
So more like Yano Bata.
The Yano Bata. We need to find a way to get that one in there.
You see,
I think Comrade Destiny is smiling. Go ahead, talk to me.
Yeah, I think is quite very interesting to be frank, and what you can see, like Jand, you know, for us from the Niger Delta here, when we are preparing to quote and unquote, there's this slogan we always use then. Some of us have been that oh boy, like I say I go Jand so deal. I'm going abroad, whether US, UK, and what have you. I think is a right direction. But the only one I'm not very confident is to do with Yahoo Boy. As you know, some researchers, they have said that the issue of this Yahoo, quote and unquote, reasonable numbers of these Yahoo from Niger. Let me borrow the new word from Nigeria. For us as a people, we must look at it just as the analyst said there. It's not only in the oil, or we need to look at our place, like the Edo for art culture. So we need to look at it and see how we can revive it. Right? Go cap in hand begging, waiting for the oil or the crude. You see, there is a resource cost theory that has to do that nations blessed what we have here, oil, the crude, laziness and violence. And if you look at what is in this, it's not. We cannot reason outside the oil and what have you again. And the discovery of oil in this country, our mistake was just because we've simply made result of laziness, permit me, quote and unquote, bad sector without diversifying. This is how we take the resources of the oil, diversify into other. So that time to come, but take it or leave it. There are cars, solar, whatever now. The time will come, you have your oil, you can't do anything with it. I think this is a clarion call for those that are in the startup in this country to look and develop a model that will in this country, the agriculture, and make our it's like Benin, for instance, the Benin Kingdom, the home of tourism. But we are not doing anything. I think the only governor that has tried is the immediate past, Godwin Nogueira Obaseki, that tried to be a MOA. I think I read not too long ago that the MOA had been listed in the New York Times as the number 52 place to visit the Benin Kingdom as the number as a result. So please, I want to appeal to the Nigerian people, and most especially to those in the aim of affairs. We need to diversify. Otherwise, our children are born will ask us some silly questions that we cannot, provide answers to. Thank you very much.
about diversification or diversifying, as Comrade Nabulele has said, I want to connect it with how our diversity has played out in what Oxford has done or what we have done to English language. If you go through these words, you discover that they are not native to any particular group. But some of them, most of them, were originated here from Lagos, and that speaks to the cosmopolitan and the metropolitan nature of Lagos City. You know, and it speaks to our diversity as a people. And this is something that we should harness appropriately. We have a great nation. We have a great nation. We have what it takes. We have a youthful demographic, you know, that is doing very well in all parts of the world. Like I said, Nigerians have their footprints in all parts of the world. I think this is more like an advantage to us. If we are, our words, like 20 of them have been added to English.
And this is not the first time.
This is not the first time. You know, they keep updating. They keep updating it. So it speaks to the greatness of Nigeria as a country. Short of blaming leadership, I also want to call on the followership. Nigerian citizens, they do whatever they can to build this nation. It's to the advantage of everybody. It's to the advantage of everybody. We have a lot to offer, not just to West Africa,
Do you know that
but to the world at large.
Do you know that as much as we criticize Nigeria as Nigerians, do you know that if you step out of the shores of this country, you will now realize how great this country is?
And people are even proud to associate with you.
Yes. I recall that when I went to Gambia, I went to shop and I met one man. He was outside the shop. You know what he said? He accosted me. He said, "Are you a Nigerian?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I'm sorry to use this word." He said, "I will not forgive God if I don't step my feet on the soil of Nigeria before I meet him." And he meant every word. I looked at the man, I said, how could somebody, a country that people are running away from, now say he will not forgive God
if he doesn't come to Nigeria,
step into Nigerian soil before he meets God? So what that tells me is he has been longing, aspiring to come to Nigeria for whatever reason, at least to step on the soil. So it shows how great
Nigeria.
So I now started engaging. We now said, you people don't know how great Nigeria is. And that was at the time when we were making exploits in football and other sports. So he said, in fact, the first person I would like to meet is Okocha.
JJ.
He said, I want to meet JJ, if only just to shake hands with him. You know what? He started amusing me when he said, if I meet JJ Okocha and I shake hands with him, he said, I will keep that hand. I will not let Watcher touch it for 7 days. You know, trying to
our greatness, the problem we seem to have now is that our greatness looks like, you know, a fortune thrown down by Almighty, and it's yet to get to us. It hovers. It's hovering around the air, you know.
The sky.
What we need is around the sky. So what we need to do is just put our acts together.
Yeah.
Pull it down. We harness those potential that we have. I mean, Nigeria is good to go.
If we apply just the SWOT analysis, everything
we need is here.
Fall
Everything humanity needs to live well.
I'm telling you,
is in Nigeria.
Is it natural resource? Is it human capital?
Is it climate?
Population? Is it climate?
Look at our shoreline. Look at our shoreline.
I was telling somebody yesterday, I said, I've not seen a country that has a better climate than Nigeria. We don't have natural disasters.
We don't experience.
We don't have.
All right, all right, then. Well, there are other issues I would like us to touch on.
Moses, before we go, I want to ask you a question. It's personal anyway.
Personal?
When you touched,
okay.
when you touched on Japa, you were so excited. Are you planning to Japa?
On the spot.
From the studio, maybe. From the studio after the show, I will Japa out of here. But let's touch on another issue here now. There is a video that trended on social media yesterday, and if that one is ready, we'd like us to put that one up. Yes, that video, if we can, maybe cover up a few of the images there. Viewers' discretion is advised in viewing these images. Now, this is reported from Osu communities, including Amebo, Awo Idemili, and Umuhu Okabia in the southeast yesterday. Well, it's reported in the Punch newspaper as tension rises as gunmen killed 18 in Imo communities. Chukuma, the pictures there, gory pictures. We can't show everything because there are gory pictures there, but we'll probably just run through so you have an idea of some of these things that happened yesterday. Gunmen, they say.
Moses, these gunmen, known or unknown gunmen, I mean, it's at the heart of what is going on in the Southeast. And I don't even know what to say. I'm short of words. Nigerians, particularly people in the north and part of the Southeast have become inured to the side of blood that it doesn't mean anything to them anymore. Because these things happen quite frequently. Look at how 18 people are gunned down in cold blood. Nobody has taken responsibility. Police have now come out to say this is what is going on in parts of Osu in Imo State. I mean, these are human beings. These are lives of people wasted just like that. Why don't you have intelligence? Why don't you have the security agencies get to the root of this matter and nip it in the bud? Someone needs an explanation for what is happening. We have the Commissioner of Police in Imo State. We have the military brigade in Obinze in Imo State. We have the Directorate of DSS, the Imo State Command. We have the NSCD and all of that. Yet, these things keep going on. We have military checkpoints in Imo State. What is happening? What is the problem? Can anybody talk to Nigerians? Can anybody tell Nigerians what exactly is going on in
If it's
Imo
possible,
State?
if it's possible for us to hear the audio in the background, we'd like to hear so we get a feel of what the people were saying in the background of that interview.
You know go better for onye mere ihe. You know big boy. Ati blame kwani ya. Ati ya blame ya like that. Onye nọ n'obodo o mewaniri ihe ọjọọ, ị gaghị blame ya na. Onye nọ na be ya o mewaniri ihe ọjọọ.
In the indigenous language of the people, quite an unfortunate one. 18 people killed, and reason for this not given. No tangible reason for this attack. Oh well. Lily, would you like to chime in?
Honestly, I'm really sad.
All right, we hear that Comrade Enabulele wants to react to this one. Go ahead, please.
It's happening with a very heavy heart. Appeal to the governor. If this senseless killing, it's like the governor of that state is not. Permit me. It's not. I must be very frank because the disturbing news that emanate from that state is becoming so becoming a nightmare to the Nigerian people. You see, and again, the Easterners. Let me say this: you are killing yourselves knowingly or unknowingly. If you look at it's like because I'm from, there are certain words I will not use, and the Nigerian state is like they are not bothered whether or not. It is high time that the traditional rulers, the stakeholders in that state, in Imo State, should come together and put a stop to this manning humanity to man, to this nonsense. To me, this is nonsense. You see, you can't keep on killing your fellow brothers and sisters day in, day out. You on your own, having a rethink. You are not killing outside your kinsmen. These are your kinsmen, for crying out loud. You see, we must see. You don't see I think the Nigerian state has given up on the Southeast, and the governor of that state should do something. Should see how we minimize killing. From if I'm not mistaken, for the past 2-3 years, there has not been a concrete effort put to nip this thing on the board by way of this senseless killing. Rather, it's in a geometric progression. It's, to me, you might wake up tomorrow, you will see no excepting those that are living outside the southeast. It's not right. This morning it has shattered my day. See, I don't know. I don't know what we are doing. The government is back. You don't need to wait. You get month in, month out. You get off for a very season. If it is every week, not too long ago, about few days ago, the president visited the Enugu to very precise. How was that? Blah blah blah. But no, yourselves. So please, get out of my voice. No right thinking human being will see this and think all is not well. Because it's only a fool that will say that what befell his neighbor or his friend, his enemy is effing. It is when befalls your neighbor that befalls on you. We don't know when next. This is Ghana creeping to other regions, other states. And we are sitting around that nothing is. Please and please.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Comrade Nabulele. Let's watch that video again so we can hear what the people are saying, and then we'll come back and talk more about it.
You know, I'm a big boy. I think you blame funny. I think you blame me like that. Oh, you're not nobody. Oh, me want to be hot. You blame me now. Oh, you're not a pay. Oh, me want to be hot. Come, I cannot die and be ungrateful people. No matter if I nobody, I want to be hot. Hey! You know go better for only Mary. You know, I'm a big boy. I think you blame funny. I think you blame me like that. Oh, you're not nobody. Oh, me want to blame me.
There is not much clarity. The way the video was shot, you know, it's like they are saying, is it a bad thing for someone to come back to his community? You know, apparently they don't know who is responsible. But I think there was a particular person that came out and said, probably they asked the person not to come out, and the person came out and got caught in the crossfires, you know, and all of that. So, in terms of who is responsible, they don't even know. Clear. It's not clear. So that is the main issue. Is it possible that it is indigents who are killing themselves in this matter? And for what reason? This is not a call to war. I say it's not a call to war. It is not a drug war. It is not a business war.
Could it be a call to war?
No, it's not. I mean, how will you kill women in call to war? It's not drug. These are village women. That's a village setting. You know, is it an army of invaders? Where are they coming from? It's not. The villagers don't know who. So it behoves the intelligence community to find out who is responsible for all of this. Is it some form of ethnic cleansing? Because it's ongoing. It's been ongoing for a while. You know, in peacetime, we are not in a war situation in Nigeria. Even if we are in a war situation in some parts of the country, that part of the south is clearly not in a war situation. So what is responsible? What is going on? Why is it difficult for the government to fish out the perpetrators of these crimes? It's difficult for me to believe that, that it is indigents that are killing one another. For what reason?
See, let me tell you, there are so many things that could be adduced to us, some of these things. Although we are here just as certain guesses, we are not even sure of where to put our finger. Of course. We have had this kind of killing in the southeast sometime about 5 or 6 years ago, that people came all the way from abroad to come and unleash this kind of terror because of a drug business that turned.
There were targets. They had targets.
That's what I'm saying.
It also happened even last year. It happened. You know, but this one is clearly, you go into a community and you open fire randomly. You start shooting people.
You see, for whatever reason, this cannot be justified. For whatever reason, you can't justify taking a man's life. Even if a man injured you, you have a right to seek redress through the proper channel not that you just do mass killing. 18 people at a time.
That is why it's difficult for
You
people
see-
to understand
you see-
what went wrong.
Men, women, children,
Children,
involved in all of that.
It's a
Because
woman that they were trucking.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult to really place a finger on this. But what is the effort being put in place by, particularly the governor of Imo State? Most of these things happen either in Anambra or Imo. Some other states like Ebonyi and Enugu,
And Abia. Those places are calm.
they are calm. And Abia. But most of these crises are located in either Anambra or Imo. If it's as a result of politics that these people are killing, then federal government will rather, if it's not stopped, if the governor does not have capacity of stopping this thing, then they should declare a state of emergency in that state and let the military go in and find out who is perpetrating this act. I recall that at a time in this country, OPC was tormenting the Southwest. And Obasanjo was in government. He didn't say because he was in government that he was Yoruba. He went after this man and everything went the way it should go. Fasheun was recognized as the OPC leader then. He was more of a calm person. But Gani Adams was still very young and was not schooled well at that time. And he became unruly. And he was pocketed. We need to find out who is behind this killing.
You see, if it's political motivated killing, it's going to be high wire.
It should even be located in the cities.
In the cities,
Not in the remote village like this.
Okay, well, let's look at what the Punch reports in this matter. The Punch says, look, Police Command, the Imo State Police Command has expressed its determination to unravel the circumstances surrounding the killing of no fewer than 18 people in coordinated attacks by gunmen in several communities in Osu local government area of Imo State. We also have that the killings occurred in Umukabia, Eziawa, Ihetinasa, Umuhu, Amoko, and Amebe, all communities within Osu. Now, the former chairman, Osu LGA, the former chairman of the Nigerian Human Rights Commission, Professor Chidi Odinkalu, who hails from Osu, had drawn attention to the incident via his X handle on Monday. So this happened on Sunday, actually. Well, Odinkalu tweeted, information is coming through of what appears to have been systematic slaughter last night across several communities in Osu, LGA of Imo State. Right? He says 23. Okay. Well, he says the casualty count at the moment is about 23, but it looks like it could be higher. So it's even more than being reported right now.
You see, Moses, that Osu seems to be the local government area of the governor. Yes.
If it is,
that
then,
local government area of
then we
the
can
governor.
zero in on political undertone.
So that what will happen?
And to what end?
I mean, it's so many questions. We don't. The police will come up. Police have said
They
that
will always say they will
unravel. Yet at the end of the day, in fact, as you are trying to deal with this one, another one will happen again.
Yes.
Maybe in the next.
And
2 or
it
3
will
weeks.
shift attention from this one
to the other one.
to the other one. For how long?
It's terrible.
At the end of the day now, before you know it, we will be counting hundreds of thousands in a state. I mean, in the geopolitical zone like Southeast.
And this happened at a drinking parlor, apparently.
Really?
Somewhere around the drinking parlor. Yes, according to the report by the Punch newspaper. Oh well. Oh well. Let's move on to another story here. We have EFCC detains 10 officers for stealing cash, gold exhibits. This brings to fore the conversation around those that are meant to fight crime, also committing crime themselves. And we've talked about the remuneration. If their remuneration is increased, it might deter them. And I do believe that their remuneration has been increased.
EFCC is not paid the same salary as civil servants or
They are
police.
paid really well.
They are paid really well.
So it's not.
It shouldn't be.
hunger
Yes,
now.
it's not even longer. And it's even acts of indiscipline for somebody who has been trained mental lifestyle to go after exhibit that is kept in his custody. Because this exhibit were taken from somebody who had been accused or alleged of committing crime. And now you are supposed to be in custody of those
largely,
things.
we know that some of these things disappear. Some of these exhibits,
But
reports have it.
But that does not validate it.
Yes, it doesn't. But this is one report on. So I think we should even give thumbs
Commend
up.
the man, yes.
The man himself, or for. I think we should even give thumbs
Commend
up.
the man, yes.
The man himself, for speaking up. Because I know that when cash of drugs are taken, they disappear from the exhibit room. They disappear.
From 10 kg to 2 kg.
In fact, sometimes the kgs are not reported. They just take a few. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. We've had cases where journalists have discovered that some of these drugs, after an arrest, detention, display of the barons, the drugs themselves find their way back to the streets, and they are sold by security agents themselves. And the money is pocketed by these agents. This has been, reported to happen quite a number of times.
Okay, sorry, Moses. Before
You want to take us back to another side?
No, yes, I want to take us back to something. Hope Uzodimma is not from Osu. He's from Oru local government area of Imo State. I wanted to put out that correctly so
great.
that.
Great. All right then. So, let's touch on some other headlines here. From the Vanguard newspaper, we have influx of bandits will be checkmated. Police, Amotekun commanders, and OPC telling Nigerians, basically, that they will check the influx of bandits. I wonder, isn't that what they are there to do in the first place? Why are they mentioning this again?
No, but if you ask me, I think Amotekun is doing a good job. Amotekun is doing a good job.
Fantastic job.
Given the inhibitions, the
Okay, sorry,
constraints
please.
they face.
Before we proceed, I hear that Comrade Enabulele wants to say something. Go ahead, please.
Let me quickly say this, because the issue of the EFCC, I think I have to a little bit differ in this morning, even among the 12 of our lodges. So we should it. It's across board. Is it the police? Is it the army? There are some bad eggs. For me, I don't see anything different, because they are special, or rather they are fighting crime. For me, the human want is insatiable. So I know for sure, because I have one time that I've visited them, I know for sure that they hold to some extent. At least they take them to the home, not at the bus stop. Yeah, for us. But we need to do more than what we are doing. We must see how we play down on this materialism, this quest for I want to have it all, this primitive accumulation, and this display with arrogance in our society. We know how to play down, because the youth, they should be worse than us. Not properly nipped in the now, not properly nipped in the bud. So for that, it will happen in Imo. Let me align with analysts at the studio. I think it's high time the president, or rather they need to legislate, use to handle, to reduce crime and criminality in his state, be to exist state of emergency. I think the majority of these governors, top vote, what they get, the majority of that applying it for the security vote is not primarily for the convention. There are other areas, but even at that, a reasonable percentage of security in place of the land welfare of that get out of these every day, ravaging our society, ravaging our. So please, I want to appeal to our stop and look at what is rather than spending time learning their. Thank you very much
for your response there. Go ahead, please.
No, you wanted to go into another topic.
Okay.
Another headline.
Oh well. No, we already touched on the bandits, and we've also touched on this alleged $2.1 billion fraud. The court striking out abuse of office charge against Emefiele. This conversation around Mili Kyari, that's isn't that a great one? I'm looking at.
There is nothing spectacular about that.
No, I think there is something spectacular.
There should be
What
something
is spectacular is that if you were once an Almajiri, and
can
you
become.
were able
He said
to...
he went to Almajiri school. He didn't say he was in Almajiri.
Being in Almajiri school, doesn't that make you an Almajiri?
You could not afford the money paid in regular schools and still go through that.
Almajiri.
But does that give the requisite knowledge needed to head the NNPCL?
No, you didn't stop there.
Okay, he went ahead.
I went ahead to other schools.
So, technically speaking, he was once an Almajiri. For them, being an Almajiri is not a crime. There's nothing wrong with it because you can always transit. You can transition like he did. But why I say that it's spectacular is because he left that mode and he was supposed to be his brother's keeper. If he has been in NNPCL for how long now as GMD, he should have remembered the Almajiris and do something for them. Does it mean that he doesn't like the fact that he could flaunt like 4, 5, 6, 10 people that are Almajiris, that are somebody today? He has not done that. Yeah, been transformed, So that's what I say that is spectacular about it. Like someone who didn't have shoes when he was in school and all of that, and suddenly became a president, and he forgot that some schools, that people don't have
Sit on bare floor.
on bed floor, to read, and I think that's what's spectacular about it, if you ask me.
Okay.
Like you always say, that's your opinion.
Spectacular in the
Opinion.
positive.
In the positive, or
Really?
either way.
All right then. Well, Comrade Onabulele, you want to chime in on this one before we call it a day on the program?
I think the issue here, just as they said in the studio, it's not a big. It is part of their society. It is us from the south that is seeing it as kind of manning humanity to the younger. Them is normal. I think one of the issues the North had with the president as a journalist is trying to reform their marginal system. If you can still recall, us them is believe that is a phase that quote unquote majority of the North should pass through. For us, let's look at it. The analyst said, bring them. You can tell, maybe it's in some peanuts. He has remembered. It is part of all of that in the North.
Place to anchor the conversation. Chukuma, is there any other story you would want to respond to in about a minute?
None for now. They are regulars. We are used
All
to
right.
all those
Okay
things.
then. Dele, you want to say something?
Nothing more.
All right then.
It's
Well.
just that.
all right then.
It's
Well.
just that I'm really, really sad. It's a down time for me, really. When after watching that video, it's really, really sad because taking human lives should not be the solution to any problem at all, and in cold blood for that matter. These people may not even be the target. Maybe the guy just went berserk. Probably, maybe.
Gunmen, that's more than one.
That's what
A few people.
Just don't go berserk.
And-
Because
okay.
from what we see here, even the ones that were lying on the floor, they were not the kind of people that could cross
Stand
and
in
do
the way of
a
somebody,
deal
you
and
know?
then they turn sorry or anything. These are just villagers who make their living probably as farmers, and then you just come to that community, unleash terror on them. These are people. These are terrorists.
I think, Dele, you have given me something to say. And what I want to say is that Every unresolved murder, each unresolved murder takes away something from the security of the living being.
Yes.
That is it for me.
All right then, Comrade Enamulele, your concluding thoughts now.
Let me again, my heart, I want to sympathize with more people for that. That's really it's man humanity to man, and the governor must sit up and see what he can do to see how he can, nip, perhaps, minimize this issue of killing. It's becoming too much. As said by in the studio, it's only 2 states that this thing is taking. It's really toll. Anambra and Imo. Both governors need to put their heads together, find a lasting solution to see how they can minimize this killing. It's not the news that is coming out from those 2 states. It's not encouraging. You are here because of the people. It's because of the people that you are the government.
Well,
if you know you can't do
very
the
much,
job,
Comrade
why not job?
Ohayerio Onabulele, former executive chairman of the Southwest Local Government Council. Thanks for coming, for joining us from our Benin studio. A big thanks to you, Daily Fanimo, a VOP in-house reporter, in-house analyst, and a seasoned reporter. Thank you for your time as well. I am Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day.
And I am Shuku Mokoro. Thanks for being on this show. See you tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Bye for now.